So my career has largely been in software and e-commerce. Software was very intentional. I started out as a software developer many years ago and just kind of fell in love with e-commerce.
Mm.
And my background has been at three separate companies that did over $10 billion in e-com. I started out at Dell Technology way back when Dell was really driving their direct business model. And what's funny is I think Dell is still, I would contend it's the largest and most successful direct-to-consumer company ever founded. So, we talk
Ah,
about the D2C market
yeah.
today, but people kind of forget Dell pioneered that. And so I was part of that group. And then I moved to eBay Global Marketplace, where I had the ability to be a builder in that marketplace, connecting millions of buyers and sellers around the globe, ran global checkout, global payments, returns, reverse logistics, and a few other kind of domains for Dell. So got my MBA in commerce there. And my last operating role was at Staples, the office supply company. And Staples was actually really interesting too from a use case perspective. We had 2,000 stores, so it's a large omni-channel
Mhm.
consumer and small business. We had a $12 billion B2B business, and I was tasked with helping the team really with a digital transformation.
Cool.
So I've lived that life as a merchant, as a marketer, as an inventory planner, and then as a builder of tools. And or what I found in those operating roles is, frankly, the technologies that we had at our disposal were pretty poor.
Mm.
Most of the e-commerce software was built, in the 1.0 kind of version, and a lot of, if you look at the tools internally, companies use, they still use Microsoft Excel as probably their
Yeah,
main e-commerce tool.
yeah, yeah.
And versus the Amazons and the Alibabas, if you go deep inside and you look at what the merchandising teams are using there, they have tremendous technology that
Mhm.
they can just move much quicker and have more intelligence than the rest of the world. And so ultimately, at Fabric, we decided to really take that scaled knowledge and build those advanced tools for everybody that needs them. So that was a key insight, is really just the software was pretty poor, antiquated, and not very helpful. The second key reason that I founded Fabric back in 2017 was the huge macro trend of really the entire economy coming online.
Mm.
And it's hard to think about like the size and scope of this, but it's not just, hey, can I buy a physical product, or from an online store or a direct-to-consumer company, but it's really how you trade and how you transact, both business to business and consumer. So, you can think of all the services in the world that you may purchase. How do you buy a car? Well, historically, most people still today buy cars going to a dealership and having a strong and long negotiation,
Mhm.
versus my last car was a Tesla where I just, clicked a couple of buttons and purchased it. And the entire workflow of that transaction was actually done online.
Right.
And so I think we're just at a moment where, e-commerce has been around for 20 years, but we're really looking at the mainstream economy getting moved to a digital method. And so I felt it was important that, there was a company that could support the foundational tools required.